Welcome to this Helpy tutorial. My name's Jake, and today we're going to be learning how to create a dead simple PHP search engine. Now, the search engine isn't going to be as big as Google. It's not going to have billions and billions of results like you'd expect from such a search giant like Google, but it could be useful for searching for posts on your website or your blog, or just generally learning about PHP and how PHP and MySQL work together. Now, the first thing that you're going to need is MAMP or XAMPP. Now, MAMP is a tool that allows you to have PHP, MySQL, your database, and Apache running on your local machine. If you're using a Mac, that works quite nicely, and it's free to use. If you're using Windows, you can use the alternative called XAMPP, which is great for Windows 10 or whatever it is that you're using. So once you've got that downloaded and installed, you're pretty much good to go. Now, the second thing you're going to need is, once that's all set up, is your editor. Now, personally, I use Sublime Text, so I find it easy to use. If you're using it as well, there are a couple of little tricks in here that will help you speed up the process of creating your search engine. But if you use Notepad or Notepad++ or Dreamweaver, whatever it is that you use or you find easiest to use, just go ahead and use it. All of these files are going to be available on the website to download, which the link will be in the description for you to grab those, and you can download them, open them, edit them, and look through them whilst going through this video if you want to. So let's get started. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to create 2 pages, and we're going to only ever need 2 pages for this. The first one's going to be the home page, the index page, like Google, with our search box and our search button. And then we're going to have the results page, which is going to contain all the results found for the search that we've made. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to save a file. Now, if we go to our applications, it mine's in MAMP, and we're going to save it into the documents file. So if we create a new folder called Search Engine, again, this is going to be available for you to download. And within Apache, the first page it looks for is an index page. Now, it'll either look for an index.html or .php. Because we're creating a search engine with a bit of logic, we're going to need PHP. So we'll save that as index. So now, if we just test it out, if you just type H1 in Sublime and press tab, it's H1 tag for you there. And we're just going to test this out to make sure that it's working. If we go to our local folder, there we go, our search engine folder's there, and our hello page is there. So notice that we didn't have to click a specific page, it automatically found the index, the top level page we were looking for. So the next thing I want to do is create the results page. So what we're going to do, go back and save this as results.php and save that. Now, what we're going to do is we want to create the structure of the HTML page. So one trick in Sublime is to write HTML:5 and press tab, and that will really quickly create the HTML structure for you. So we're going to give it a title, this page. We're going to call it Helpy Search Engine. Okay. And we'll put a little H1 tag in there and put go ahead, search. Now, obviously, we're going to need a form. We're going to submit a form to our results page. So if we create form, it should look something like that, and it's going to have 2 attributes in there. It's going to have action and method. Now, our action is the action that the form is going to post to. So we're going to say what action are we going to do with this form. So what we're going to say is going to post the form to results.php, which is this page right here. Now, the method that we're going to use is either get or put. Now, the difference between a get is when we post to the results page, it'll come up with the result, the query in. So we go results and the query in the top there. So we'll see it when we search for it. Now, this is good if you want to copy this and send it to a friend. When they open it, they'll see what you've searched for, and it's good for sharing. Now, you wouldn't use this, let's say, if we were creating a login form, because obviously everyone will see that your password and your whatever your username is, which is never good. If you're in a university, you don't want people seeing what your username and password is in the URL. So in that circumstance, we use the post. So for this, we'll use get, so that it will publish it to the page. And we're going to need our input box. Now, it's going to be text, and it's going to have a name of query. That's just for the sake of it. And our placeholder is going to be search Okay, and then let's add in a button. So the type of button it's going to be is either reset or submit. It's going to be submit for this case. And we're going to say search. So if we save that, and then just to make sure that the results page is working, we'll just put a little tag in saying this is the search results page. Okay, so if we refresh this page, there we go, go ahead search, we're going to put in hello, and it's posted us to our results page, and as we can see, our query is at the top. So that's the get query putting it in there. So if we were to go back, obviously you can see that this says query hello. If we were to put into our here, we can say MacBook Pro. We can see MacBook Pro. There we go. Now, what we're going to do next is we need to create the actual database. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our local database. If you're using MAMP or WAMP, it's PHP MyAdmin with your there. So if we create a new table and we say search engine. So this is our new database called search engine, and what that's going to do is we're going to pull in some results. So if in new, we call this table results. We give it 4 columns. Okay. Now each result is going to have a unique identifier. Now we could either say that's the name, we could say that it's a URL that's unique, but often, let's say if you're searching on Google for Amazon, you'll get Amazon UK or you'll get Amazon Prime and all these things, and there isn't any unique information. So we use what's called an ID to make it unique, which is basically a number. So the first result is going to have an ID of 1, our second result is going to be ID of 2, and so on and so forth, up to an infinite amount of numbers. So we'll give it a primary key, and we'll auto increment, and basically auto increment will say that as you add in another result, the ID will increment 1, so it'll go from 6 to 7, or 7 to 8, so on and so on. And then what we're going to do is going to have a title, so whatever our title of our website is called, and we'll give this a varchar. Now notice that for our ID we've got an int, and for our title a varchar. Now an int is just a number. A varchar is a variable character, which means it can be a number, it can be a letter, it can be a symbol, it can be a special character, it can be anything in there. And titles tend to not be very long, so we'll give this up to 50 characters. Now if we say we'll give it a description, this is going to be a maximum of 200 characters, and then the URL, which is going to be also varchar, and let's say it's going to be 150 at the most. Sometimes you'll get a really long URL. So if we save that, there we go, it's saved. Now, if we insert a record as insert an actual result, so let's say we want to put in Apple's website, the home of the MacBook Pro, and the website is going to be apple.com. Okay, let's add another one in, so Amazon Prime, and then get to what you need fast. That's going to be http amazon.com/prime. Okay, so if we save those, let's have a look. There we go. So if we browse, we've now got those in there, and as you can see, we didn't actually specify an ID, it's automatically added it in there. So if we were to add another one in, it would say ID 3. So let's just save that like that. And now what we're going to do is go back to our form. Now let's go to our results. Now let's write some PHP in here. So we know for absolute definite that whenever we click the search, we're going to get the get query. We're going to get the get variable query, and it's going to contain whatever our search is. So in order to pass that search query to the results page, all that we have to do is get the get query, which is written as $_get, and then whatever the name is, so it's going to be query. If that was to be product, this would change to product, whatever you choose to have it as. But because we've specified query, it's going to be query. Now we can say that the variable query or search is equal to that. So whatever we put in query, which matches MacBook Pro, is search is going to be equal to it. So search will be equal to MacBook Pro, or it'll be equal to cats, or whatever our search query is. So just test that out. We'll echo search like so. So our search query is MacBook Pro, our search query is cats, our search query is dogs. Now if we were to change this to hello, obviously nothing's going to come up, but if we were to put in hello, hello is equal to bonjour, there we go. So that's how the variables work to get variables. Now obviously that's going to be query there. That's the basic principle of how that works. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to put in our query, and we're going to search for the match within our database. So you're going to want to connect to the database. Now, for my connection, I'm connecting through 127. I'm connecting through the local IP address. Sometimes you'll connect through localhost. You'd have to have a look when you set up your MySQL to see what you connect through. If it's localhost, use localhost instead of 127.0.0.1. And obviously you're going to need your username and you need to use your password, what you use to get into MySQL, and then you need to select the database. Now you can specify what happens if it doesn't connect. So we can say, oh no, you haven't connected, which is not very descriptive. It's a good response for it not connecting, but I tend to put MySQL error. So if it's because the database is down, or because the password's wrong, or because the username is wrong, MySQL error will tell you what's wrong with it. So now we need to connect to the database. So whatever database we created, it was Search Engine. So if we change this to Search Engine, okay, so that's that. Okay, so we're going to want to do a query. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to search for whatever our query was. We're going to create a new variable. We're going to say query equals MySQL query. I'm going to say select all from, and it's going to be from results table, results, where the title is equal to the search. So it's going to be equal, the title has to be equal to what we've searched for. So if we search for cats, it's going to look in the database for anything with a title of cats. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do if MySQL number of rows query is greater or equal to 1, which means if we brought back 1 or more results, then we're going to continue. Else, if it hasn't, then we're going to say else echo, oh no, nothing was found, so we know we have to search again. So what we're going to do here is we're going to loop through all of the results. So we're going to say while a is equal to MySQL fetch array. So we're going to fetch whatever's in there, and obviously it's going to be a query. So it's going to be the query that we're fetching. So we're going to fetch whatever the results are back inside of a loop. Now, then what we're going to do is we're going to echo out a link. So a link tag, let's have a look what a link tag looks like. So a link tag is a href, which is going to be our link. So it's going to be google.com, and then obviously link to Google or whatever your link title is. So when we go back there, our link goes to Google. So we just copy that. Now we know that that link looks like there. So if we do echo, and then we say we're going to echo out a lot of links, and we're going to put in, we'll print out the title, so echo the title in here. So what we're going to do is called concatenation. We're going to have a string, and then in between we're going to put in dots to separate between a variable and a string. So we're going to say everything after this first A tag here, we're going to put in A, because our A is equal to what we fetched, and it's going to be title, and then we're also going to add in the link in here. So if we do A, and it's going to be the URL. Okay, so we've got a link in there now. So if we do a P tag as well, just to add in our description, and we're going to say we'll put in the A description. We can write it. There we go. Description. Now we're just going to break that off with a little break tag and a H horizontal line like that. Now that should work nicely. So let's give it a try. So we type in. So that's got rid of that now. Type in Apple. Oh, nothing was found. So let's just go back and where title Apple, our query is equal to Apple. So we just print out what our query was. See how many results were found. So look. So there was none. So where title is equal to, so we just print out everything. So it's all from results. Apple, Amazon. So let's print out literally everything. So we do where name is equal to search. That should work because we're searching for Apple, but nothing's going back. Let's see why that is. Where title is equal to Apple. That should be where. Change that to Apple. It's not bringing anything back. So where the name is equal to Apple. Oh, it's because it's not name. Where title is equal to Apple. So it should bring back the Apple, yeah. So it should be search in here. So apparently nothing found again. Let's see why that is. You can always have to debug this kind of stuff. It's always something that you're missing out. Let's have a look what the actual search query is supposed to look like. So apparently it's nothing in there. Just get rid of this a second. So it's something to do with this. So if we change this to, just get rid of this for now. Our results should be, there we go. So if we go back and we search for Amazon Prime, search there we go. Obviously we don't need to get a break in there, we can just have a, there we go. Now if we add another one in and we say we just call this Amazon UK. Amazon but in the UK. http amazon.com/UK. So let's add that in like that. And when we search, if we just get rid of that, we can put in Amazon UK, and it's brought back Amazon UK. Now we can put in like instead of where if we want it to be like something. So if we want to say if where title is like Amazon, we put percentages around them. So we put in Amazon, we can get both results. So we're saying where title contains the word Amazon, so obviously it contains it in there. If we put in Apple, nothing's found because obviously Apple's what Apple is. Now if we put in here another item, so we would put in Apple products on Amazon, and then it's Apple on Amazon, and it's going to be www.amazon.com/products/Apple. Now if we go and we have Apple as our query, we can also find products on Apple. Now if we were to put in Amazon, we could also get Amazon and Apple products on Amazon. So that little like query makes it a little bit easier to find things that aren't exactly this search query but has it contained within it. Now that's good obviously for things like that, so that you can have mixed things. So if you've got Amazon and Apple in there, you can put it in. And it also works if you've got things like Prime. That brings back Prime, so you don't need to put specifically Amazon in there. And so that's how you create a dead simple search engine in PHP. I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments below. Thank you very much.